Pride. Cloud9 are eliminated from knockout contention. That said, they could still come away with a win against every single team in playoffs if they finish off their weekend 2-0.
Exactly. PSG happy to be in already. Let's get into the bans here off the top of the table. Some solo lane bans, taking away some of the super powerful, possible attack damage threats that Cloud9 can go for. Perks, with his history of playing AD carries, has definitely had that tendency towards the Lucian Tristana style champions. And of course, Fudge with his highlight reel Lee Sin, definitely target ban worthy. So I like PSG's target bans here, trying to take away some of the biggest possible highs for Cloud9.
Alrighty, so Udyr, the most prized champion of MSI right now this year. He has continued to gain in priority ever since the first group stage. The game's got better. The champ select for junglers has done the same. Does Udyr get taken away? Of course, River's most played is Rumble, and he doesn't seem to care about which side of the matchup he plays, so Kai'Sa, the more important grab for them.
Yes, sir. Lock in bottom lane for Doggo. Doggo, the substitute player coming into PSG, and has been one of the best performing players on the entire team. Incredibly impressive stuff from him. Kai'Sa also, one of the most versatile AD carries. Yes, people always think of the dive when you see Kai'Sa as a champion, but she doesn't have to dive in either. You can use your ultimate for evasive maneuvers, and extremely, extremely powerful for the bottom side. Tristana has been, if it goes to the bottom lane, my favorite answer to it, because it relies on you and your support being willing to go for the all-in. We've seen many of them at level 2, at level 3, looking for the all-in with Tristana, rocket jump on top of the Kai'Sa with your aggressive support. You usually want to pair it with, of course, Nautilus or Leona, both of which left up.
I think Nautilus much more important in terms of trying to find ways to catch Tristana out. Every single thing Leona can do, you can put rocket jump up against, and you're going to come out just fine. Nautilus gets a little bit more difficult, so that would be my kind of toe for this one. We'll see which way it goes. Leona, by far, Kaiwing's most played champion, of course, has been good on it. There's the Rumble we expected out of River. Yeah, it does have plenty of Morgana games, but again, favors the Rumble here, so grabs that one up, no problem. And here's what goes in. Kiana, actually, yes!
Thank you, PSG. Keeping our games exciting here towards the end of the day. All MSI long, I've been waiting for a Kiana to come out. They've been playing it. So many mid laners been playing it, spamming it in EU West during the boot camp.
Chaz like that. He's played it twice.
I really wanted to see it succeed, though, Freak. In the hands of Maple here. The other thing, Freak, is that it's not just Kiana. It is Kiana with Rumble. This is one of the all-time greatest AoE combinations of champions. You remember back to the days of Clutch at Worlds as well.
Yeah.
Bringing out the Kiana plus Rumble combinations as both solo laners, but that AoE combo is so devastating for roaming around, finding those kills through the river, up through the jungle around these walls. I really want to see PSG push this combo to its limits so we can actually see it, at its peak performance. When you get Rumble here from the jungle, you can actually join so many of the Kiana roams and have that big effect for the neutral objectives.
Alrighty, well, more bans to come through here. Nautilus still left up right now as Rel is taken off instead on the Cloud9 side. Zoe away from the mid lane, trying to make sure Perk doesn't have a good matchup into the Kiana mid. Curious to see what he will play long term. Cloud9 one final ban. It is going to be the Nautilus dropped off there as well. So looking at what he's played, Rakan would be the only support that Kaiwing has played so far at MSI. I think Alistair would be reasonable here as well. We'll see where he actually goes, but likely to be another Brigade support down there.
Yeah, definitely with these two taken away, does leave the obvious one up. And you want more CC with this. You want to pile in. When you're basing it around these AoE fights and you want to start fighting like Rift Heralds, Dragons with these two champions once you have Rumble and Kiana to their level 6s. Let's see here, though. Silas picked up for Cloud9. I really do like this for Perks, actually.
Yeah.
To be able to have a champion with so many good ultimates to steal away, as we're highlighting the combinations on the side of PSG, Silas can make very good use of either of those ultimates. Plus, it allows Perks more agency in the mid lane to create plays, to work with Blabber and some of their counters.
Okay, Nocturne top Galio support gonna come through. Look into the fact that Nocturne and Kiana are going to be good at diving into the backline. Actually, I'm a personal favorite of Kai'Sa delivering the Galio to the backline as well. Only problem is there's very, very few setup CCs to let Kai'Sa dive in. She's got to do it herself in the W, but there are several good targets for the Galio follow-up. Just not the best strict hard engage on the PSG side. They may have trouble getting themselves into the team fights, but as the last lock-ins come through, Aatrox is grabbed as the answer to Nocturne top. We'll see how Fudge plays in that matchup. Has not brought it out yet at MSI 2021, but have seen him play the champion before, and we're on to the Rift pretty soon.
Yep, we get our Tristana Leona on the bottom side, looking for those all-ins. Sven and Vulcan for Cloud9 have been the most consistent part of this team. Fudge, I definitely had the highlight reel with the Lee Sin, but I really think if you take into account the entirety of MSI, this bottom lane has put up pretty much every single game for them. So definitely looking there for some big plays for Cloud9 if they want to get into it. I'm just so excited to watch these team fights from PSG though, because it just becomes such a scary conglomerate here of ultimates. When you add on Nocturne Vision Denial to the crazy AoE that they do have, hope that we can get some exciting moments from them here. Cloud9 do have a good amount of outplay potential though, and good sustain on both of their solo laners, so they can try and scale into it that way and start to play those side lanes, try and keep the big AoE from PSG from coming together.
Yeah, of course, the problem is with playing side lanes a lot is, look, PSG have good AoE, but they have good side lane plays as well. They've got 2 semi-globals. The Nocturne can join if he's somewhere nearby. Rumble, of course, is decent range, but the Galio as well. And, I mean, most often, Kaiwing should be stationed near mid, so it's a pretty short stroll to be in range. I'm curious if Cloud9 can get much done side laning, and we are on to the Rift, as PSG Talon can get their 6th win of the group stage. Regardless, they are waiting to see if they will be chosen by first seed or not. Cloud9 at this point playing for pride. At Perks' first MSI, it was G2 and 8. We're now at Cloud9's first MSI, hoping to not repeat that scoreline.
Oh, let's move right along from that. Terrible memories going to be flashing up once again.
That was a great memory. It was CLG making finals.
I mean, we've got multiple G2 members on this squad. It's
but Sven and Mithy weren't part of that run, all right? You know, they were part of the, World Finals run or something? Like, that's fine.
Let's get right into it here, though. As far as level 1s, they've been incredibly important throughout MSI. We do have sweepers on both sides already. You saw the early one used by Kaiwing here. Kaiwing himself has been, one of, actually he was swapped over to it. He has been one of the best performing supports at this tournament, and that's saying a lot considering, the performance of these supports. But he did swap over from his trinket. He used the early trinket you can see there in the side lane on bottom lane before switching over to sweeper and coming in a little bit later, but Vulcan does find it.
Nice. I'm curious if that is just prep on level 1s or if they actually saw Kaiwing walk over and then came to track it back down. But obviously that is a nice little bit of XP. Doesn't matter as much as in solo lanes. You're not getting that level 2 power spike for free, but aftershock difference, not going to matter too much. Again, waits out the explosive charge, and a flash stun comes in, burning the cleanse. Now the exhaust afterwards, and Doggo, not slowed for terribly long, but has to burn his own flash, get away. Double offensive summoners for Cloud9 is good damage.
And it's really good for the matchup. Again, Tristana into the Kai'Sa lanes always depends so much on this all-in threat of rocket jump on top of them, off of your Leona combinations to try and find some kill pressure. Meanwhile, mid lane there, Perks does get the quick level 2, trying to force Maple off of the minion wave. Kiana, as Chaz referred to in his interviews after his games, in most of the matchups, does have to cede early control of the minion waves. This one is no exception here, as Silas with the Kingslayer, very, very good melee trading. So Kiana just kind of plays it lax in the opening moments here, tries to get as much CS as possible with the Qs, and can play it pretty safe.
All right, aggressive Trinket Ward comes over the wall to look at Raptors for when River finally goes for that camp. It'll track some of the jungle movements overall, though. You expect him to not bypass that, so they will get vision of the opposing jungler soon, and maybe they get a chance at stealing camps, but yeah, he's going to pull it over. You can see pulling it towards the brush means it'll be hard for Perks to steal. He can still try with the Q. See if they get low enough. He can manage to get away some golden XP. Nate, ooh, okay. Gets the big one, gets most of the small ones. Nice play. That ward is what that value provides. So really, really nicely done there. See if that can mean more for Cloud9 down the line.
Yeah, jungle's a team effort here, and Perks is doing his part, you know. Deep wards, counter jungling himself, helping out Blabber, doing some counter jungling for his teammates. Meanwhile, Qiyana again having to cede the early control now with the push off of jungle invade here, is at least able to chase him out. Does get the level 4 first because of the extra minions on that side. But Perks does have teleport for Silas, so no harm, no foul there. It doesn't really matter if you take damage on the way back out.
Okay, attempted comes in. Rocket jump goes in time, but Vulcan flashless could be the target. Down very low. First blood sure to come through, and they can't chase down Doggo. Sven oversteps, forced to flash get away. Blabber comes down for the flank, but the health bars are just too high. He's got to run away. So the early game goes away of PSG Talon, and Blabber forced to flash away from Qiyana.
Yeah, Qiyana in the river, incredibly scary. It doesn't matter for jungle if you're the second one to the gank here, because there's nothing left for Blabber to do. Already, PSG taking matters into their own hands. First blood, trying to punish the flashless Leona, does get it, and means that the entire last 30 seconds of routing from Blabber down towards the bottom side result in nothing from him, and then even getting his flash blown on the outside play there from the collapse from Qiyana from Maple is really, really good signs for PSG and the aggressive combo they want to pull out.
Yeah, Sleeper was important. There was always a chance that Cowling just flash taunt backwards ease. And meanwhile, speaking of damage, Perks is just going down in the mid lane. Maple taking him over 1v1 with some help from the jungler. So, okay, 2v1.
River again showing that he is one of the best Rumble players here at MSI. Your boy Rumble on the board with the first 2 big proactive plays. And already combining with Qiyana, Freak, they're not even level 6. We haven't even seen the true devastation that River and Maple can pull out.
You love to see it when you get those Master Yi ganks where it's all set up. You just walk up and press Q and that damages the rest. Like that's a good job though. But that's positioning. That's being in the right place. Obviously, Rumble has a very hard time forcing ganks. So hey, if you got set up on your lanes, if they force the flashes, if they've got the CC, hey, you take that gold. You make sure the kill comes through. That's well done.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with the focus on Rumble over the tournament. Sometimes getting drafted without enough CC to keep people on the damage definitely did hurt the champion. Top side though, let's take a look. Never mind. Right back to Vulcan here. He still doesn't have flash, so we'll have to be a little bit careful in his endeavors to get vision through the river. But vision in the river is paramount. Again, Qiyana now approaching the level 6. As is River on the Rumble, because he's gotten so many very efficient, might I add, successful ganks. It's very important that he didn't have to spend much time at all in these lanes going for the ganks and still was successful, because Rumble clears so easily that you want to keep your camp cycling so they keep on leveling up, and he's been able to do that in addition to getting those kills. Cloud9 though, they slip in. Blabber's going to be able to start up this dragon and should be able to finish in time, since the early ward from Vulcan does give him the info that he is safe.
Right, that's what it was paid for. You talked about it was, risky. Vulcan flashless, doesn't have natural escapes. Like, that can be scary. But yeah, he walked around, he got some vision, made sure there wasn't anything in the river, from the other squad, and said, okay, yep, come on down when you want. They're not going to see you. Go ahead and take this one. Of course, yes, they had bot pressure as well, so someone did show Zen and Vulcan could block. Overall, T's crossed, I's dotted. But now, Rumble, unseen on the way forward, does not land at Kaiwing! No, he makes Galley look balanced!
I mean, I feel like it is a pretty balanced champion, but
I know. Underpowered then.
He does pull a whiff on the Justice Punch. He saw the intention though, trying to get him with the backswing on the Justice Punch there, because it is quick and it's hard for Tristana to react to that, since Ven doesn't have flash. Tristana rocket jump very slow, and if you are able to get it, correctly angle the backswing there on your Justice Punch, it would have looked cool for you.
It would have looked cool. Did not. It just in and out.
It's all right. Emote spam. There we go.
Couple of oldies come across. He is burning down. Smites the scuttle for health. And Maple goes down. That is the scuttle that may just go Cloud9's way. Flash follow not going to land for Fudge as Rivers walks away. Health bar's low with a passive heal. Cloud9, when it's too late, get a good scuttle fight.
Oh, bottom side as well. Cloud9 are firing all over the map here. Freak, Vulcan, and Sven. They go for the all-in this time, taking down Kaiwing.
Oh, that is so much damage. Good flash, good run away. The exhaust means the slow. Vulcan will die, but Sven, oh my gosh, that ult is so sick. He might not have enough damage. A solo kill on the top side. No, Sven, no! Oh, Doggo completely outplays him 1v2.
I love it, though. We're having fun on Summoner's Rift, Freak. Taking the tower here, Sven. Kaiwing with a Doggo here, even after Kaiwing goes down. Good Kaisa ultimate. You saw him saving his killer instinct. Ults right back under the tower, uses the shield. Top side as well was the answer from Hanabi, chasing down Fudge in the aftermath there. So as much as the Cloud9 celebration from the 2 consecutive positive plays, both sides of the map, they are both immediately answered by PSG counters.
Yep. Doggo subs in. It's like, I don't even need Kaiwing. I'm good on my own. Don't worry about it. Sure enough, he's there. Now, let's take stock of the game, though. We can settle down for a minute here. The gold difference is 300, and Cloud9 are up a dragon. By my measure, that is a positive scoreboard on the C9 side. Obviously, it's close. It's probably like 51-49 or something. I'm sure Magic sort of tweeted out what it actually is, but regardless, this is going to be the attempt now for Cloud9 again to save some face and pick up a couple of wins. PSG Talon just, you know, getting reps in, honestly. It's nice to see Maple play as 11th champion.
All right, let's take a look at the initial play on bottom side. Very good movement. You see Vulcan moving in front of Kaiwing, so he can't get out Justice Punch at all. Is able to block that. And then it's the follow-up here. Okay, they want to deny the minions. Here's another. And it's just a solo bolo?
No, duo.
No assist. Okay, Rumble Ultimate. We did get to see the combination of the ultimates, if only briefly because of the replay. So we don't get to see the setup there, but that's it. Qiyana into wall, full stun with the Rumble Ultimate on top, and it's just too much damage for Perks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Qiyana's supposed to pick a lot of elements, but just chooses fire and fire. That's the combo, puts them together and invokes it, and River helping out, right? Just, you know, lighting him on flames, and Perks drops down, 0-2 start. Has himself a bit of armor, which is nice, but keep in mind, of course, Rumble is magic damage, so the armor's only going to do enough against Maple. River is still popping off, has the early magic pen, has the early hectic alternator. That is going to be really good to help with the ganks on top of it, so going to be a lot of pain here.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why this combination is so highly prized, the Rumble Qiyana. Back from the heyday, it's the differing damage types plus the giant AoE layering that you can apply, so it's really hard to itemize against or even play around. I will say, though, Perks had a really good steal on the Qiyana ultimate in the first River fight, at least until PSG answered back and got the kills in the aftermath. That is what they're looking for Cloud9. He's trying to use at least part of the combo against them, steal away the ultimate. They do have Blabber and Vulcan for pretty good engage. Rift Herald had to be used on bottom side. I believe it was expiring, so they had to use it.
No way, it was expiring that early.
Further in lane. Then, well, in that case, it's just going to be a wasted Rift Herald.
Okay, ulti comes over the top, and this is going to be the attempted re-engage as the dive comes in for Nocturne. How about the re-engage? Their Galley over the top. It's not going to find much of a stun, as now Fudge tries on the side, gets stunned up a couple of times. Big Qiyana ult catches 3. The follow-up is nearly a kill, but not quite there. So no deaths either side, but now you got to look at the health bars because Dragon's up in 3 seconds.
Yeah, and that's going to be Cloud9 chased out. Their front line is just too heavily damaged. You lose out on the health bars, you're going to lose out on the objectives. And guess what? Freak, that Shelly, she didn't get her charge off. There were minions in front of the tower too. Yep. Went down. No turret plates for Cloud9 for the neutral objective picked up. They do have the first dragon still to themselves, though, so they're not too scared about PSG dragon stacking. Here's a look at the attempted punish, and this happens a lot when you try and do an early Rift Herald spawn. Your opposing team has a lot of time to set up their counterplay. Gallia ultimate zoning did a lot for them, but they really needed Maple's ultimate for the true disengage here, or else Kaiwing would have been focused down. Very nice ultimate there from Maple. Does wrap around and force Cloud9 off of the bottom side play. They didn't get to finish up that dragon, though, because of the reset.
Yeah, ultimately it's still going to be Ignite burned on a perk, so half health on him, but he can sustain back up. Easy CS picked up here for Vulcan as well, and we get to see what happens on the reset. Gold difference still only 400. Dragon still 1-0. Bot lane scuffle. Ult plus one more auto would have got the reset. Needs it. Okay, just jumps instead. That's going to be fine. It's ult for ult, ultimately. And my brain said that. I was like, pick a different word. I couldn't come up with one. I was like, we're just going to say it and move on because I don't want to stop here. Nice try by Vulcan. Can't find the route. And now PSG can try to find their re-engage. Perk still at half. Has a Galio ult though, so a hard engage could be turned around. When do they want to press that button though? When does he get in melee range? There comes the combo. When's he going to know? It's going to time out already, so Perks has no ult in this fight. And ultimately, it's going to be a big one for River. Can't quite land it as Blabber comes around the side. Vulcan low will go down. Maple finds that kill. Flash over for Sven. Wants to find this one. Can he bust shot? No, it's down still. He's invisible. What about the re-engage? How much damage is it going to be from the Kiana? Jumps around, stunned up, killed by Perks. Cloud9 win that team fight 2-1.
Yep, they take down the combination. And big freak here is that Blabber has full HP. He's able to finish up this dragon. So they actually do get to continue on their dragon stacking. Top side had no teleports ready, so they could not join. And with Maple flashing in to try and finish off the kill onto Vulcan, leaves himself vulnerable. And the Kiana, easy pickings there. Sven, you can see no hesitation in flashing over to finish that one off.
You see Blabber handing over the 25 gold to Tristana. Lets Sven last hit it as he walks away somewhere else. Cloud9 now in the gold lead, 500 plus the 2-0 Dragons. Mountain Soul on the way over, which to me is the really important one against Rumble ulti and Kiana. You can just kind of withstand the first chunk of burst. I think that's a pretty big deal, so we'll see if that can stack up. Tempted push towards top side as Fudge and Hanabi are fighting 1v1, but ultimately no play to be had as Vulcan and Perks cannot find their way into the battle.
Incredibly close gold here on all of the members. Very slight lead for Cloud9, especially Sven, as they carry that extra 25 gold from the last on Dragon, actually getting him to the top of the charts here. Here's the initiation from PSG, though, and they make the mistake of using so much on Vulcan, on the support. And then Kiana ultimate as well doesn't get much value at all for them. And you see on the top of the screen, Maple flashing in to finish off that kill onto Vulcan. They're still using big resources just to kill off this Leona. In the end, they're going to lose so much more because that's the flash from the Kiana, which is one of the biggest playmaking possibilities they have in the game, used just to trade kills with the support.
All right, so back onto the Rift. This time, no Drake available, so it's not going to be bottom river that matters too much unless you're taking from Scuttle Gold, but that's gone as well. So waiting for a while, honestly. Next objective is going to be Rift Herald spawning in about a minute's time, maybe a bit less than that one. And that'll be top river when it comes through. Perks still looking for the play against Maple. Not going to find a stun, just some damage. Saves the E on a way out on minions if he wants to disengage. I like that play. Has the options to go either direction, and that one's going to land just fine. Mythic's done in most places, so waiting for Rumble to finish his. That'll be one thing. Worth noting, Udyr has picked non-chem tank, but is going the Frostfire Gauntlet instead. Says the move speed's not as important. I want to slow them down for longer instead. Unlock them in place. Cool to see the different Mythic choices as the balance changes come through.
Yeah, it does. It actually does help a decent amount with the slow fields, because positioning within these team fights is going to be so critical for Cloud9. Again, they have to be very cognizant of their spacing, and trying to get just out of range of Kiana ultimates is often very difficult. So a little bit of move speed difference can go a long way. The Kiana ultimate is a little bit deceptive in the animation that explodes. It can stun you a little bit over the visual that comes there. So a lot of people,
the edgier model.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people get kind of caught off guard by that one. Rift Herald number 2, though. This will be the site of another force, and it is with ultimates available.
Big fight, maybe coming soon. Kaiwing right now without cooldown. Smite comes through, I believe. Yes, Cloud9 grabs that one. Kiana ult over the top. Big damage here. They just might shut him down. Maple, one hit away from dead. Just slinking away, but the Ignite kills him from Vulcan. Traded back, though, as now he is dead himself. Nice jump over the wall for Sven. Keeps him safe away from Hanabi. And now the re-engaged top side. Fudge over the top. Can he do enough damage? It's going to be another trade, though, as Silas drops here as well. 3v3 battle. Hanabi, though, stuck in the middle, and he's going to drop. So, +1 team fight for Cloud9.
Cloud9 went out in the brawl, Freak, because Perks steals away Maple's ultimate and hits him with it before he's able to start the fight out for PSG. So Cloud9 actually getting the jump here and such an early lead in it, with a really good stolen Kiana ultimate of their own, and they can win out in the brawl even after getting separated with this Nocturne ultimate. And in the jungle, with so many walls around, they actually use PSG's own strength against them, and it does result in another neutral objective for C9. You see they also started it out with a grab kill on top side, so that's always a good sign. Galio ultimate bought a lot of time there, and Maple did get his own Kiana ultimate off just afterwards, but look at Perks running 3 members of PSG around, using a lot of time, and then he still goes in with the Kingslayer, being kind of the point of the attack, allowing Fudge to come in and pick up the extra kills here. Hanabi separated himself when he went after Sven, and Sven still having rocket jump, not really in any danger from the Nocturne. So good disengage from him, and it meant that Nocturne didn't really get to have an impact until Cloud9 actually re-collapsed.
Right, it's simultaneously good disengage, but also, of course, a little bit of poor target selection. It's, Hanabi, like, even if you have Stride Breaker, it's not going to change the fact that he can jump over the wall, yep. So you got to pick a different target in those fights. Is going for a build that I really appreciate, by the way, which is Gorge Drinker on Nocturne. I think in a lot of situations, especially against this comp, Stride Breaker's not going to make the difference in getting away from someone. Like Rocket Jump's going to break that regardless of your mythic choice, so he picks the higher damage one, the higher survivability one, so you can frontline a little bit longer. I like that again because he's kind of the one delivering Galio in a lot of these fights. Just needs to frontline a bit longer, so I like that choice of mythic here. But we are onto the game with Dragon spawning in 10 seconds as the first turret of the game drops at 1830 from Hanabi split pushing. The gold gets closer, but that gold can't be spent right now as it's going to be the battle over the bottom river soon. Stun comes up, but only really hits the tank though. Cleanse forced out from Doggo. Mid turret not long for the world. Couple auto attacks will knock that one down. But what does it mean for the river? Because right now Rumble is soloing the Dragon, and Cloud9 going to give that one over and instead play for mid lane tier 2. Rumble ulti stolen away means some decent damage as they knock down the wave. Can they get the charge? No, they cannot. Ultimately, it is going to be just that turret dropping, and the trade is going to be River soloing the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, River does get a Mountain Drake and kind of cuts off Cloud9's Dragon stacking, but Cloud9 got 2 turrets. It wasn't just mid lane. Fudge was on top side as well, banging on top turrets. So 2 outer turrets worth of gold is a really big influx at this stage of the game. 19 minutes in, that can be critical in trying to finish your second item. So we'll see if that actually does pay off for Cloud9. I think at PSG are also feeling okay about the price they did have to pay, because the power of a Mountain Soul is really big against a burst combination composition that they actually have. So they really don't want to give over a Mountain Soul to Cloud9 and do end up having to pay a decent price for it, but avoiding that and allowing the impact still to be there could be something that comes up big.
So 1,500 rough the gold difference, still up the 1 Drake are Cloud9. PSG Talon certainly though fighting back a fair bit. Curious to see how their team fights eventually look. Healing reduction been picked up in a couple of spots now. Rumble has gone for the Oblivion Orb second. Yeah, the Nocturne had it for a while. Had the Executioners a bit ago, but has gone all the way to Chempunk Chain Sword. So anytime you hit someone below half health, it's going to be 60% grievous wounds. Obviously really meaningful against Silas. They've found a trap though in the river, and he's going to be running away. Equalizer over the top is good damage, and they're just burning down this. Udyr has to flash get away, and Perks goes down thanks to Nocturne. Rockjump getting away from the fear, but this team fight's going to be all gravy for PSG Talon, and just like that, Baron is waiting to be killed.
Yep, PSG gonna burn this one down. Blabber's alive, but he's got no health and no flash. He cannot get over the pit, so he would have to have a miracle to steal this one.
Now they're going to find that root. A couple of slows as well. Stun's going to buy a little bit of time for Vulcan's side. Buster shot backwards, but it's not going to get rid of the right target, though. As now the fear is going to land. No, not quite. Rock jumped away from Sven. There's the kill. The execution as Maple jumps forward. And the last bit of damage comes through for River. So long term, I believe that is now 3 kills unanswered. But it does mean Baron has been stopped.
And again, the punishment if you are grouped up versus this PSG lineup. Yes, it is scary to have Rumble doing your face checking ever at this point, because he's not going to go for a Zhonya's afterward. You see River immediately ready with his flash. He flashes out, and that means you're grouped up. So you have 3 people. Rumble ultimate in answer, forces out the early Zhonyas from Perks. They burn him down still. And then even with the teleport coming in from Fudge, since Perks has already been focused out, they can easily turn their sights towards him. Both solo laners down in an instant. And the firepower of this composition from PSG on full display there. It really has been advantage to whichever team gets, you know, the positioning and is able to steal away the big team fight ultimate Perks. If Perks can steal away Maple's ultimate and try and get them the earlier positioning on the inside route on the river, it is still possible for them to win these team fights, but PSG with a really good opening there. You have to say, Kaiwing again, he just moved right in after River was able to flash away with the double taunt, locking them up for Rumble damage. Definitely sets themselves up for success, but no Baron was taken in the aftermath, so they return to the site of the crime. Blabber and Cloud9 have to answer here. This time there's no teleport from Fudge, and Baron is burning down.
No flash and no blast plant. Blubber has to walk to get his way in. Here comes the engage from Maple. Rumble over the top. Good damage. The backline. Rock jump away, but he's already been feared. He's been taunted. Sven barely stays alive with a flash. Buzzer drops away, gets away from Maple, but still Vulcan will drop. The engage from PSG Talent is just too strong. They keep piling in, and Sven can only run away to try to find some of the recall, but he does not run as fast as Maple's Kiana. A blast plant buys some time. The best he can do is probably execute as he runs towards the inhibitor tower. Puts up the white flag. We saw this one from Vulcan as well. Dodges the Q from Kaiwing, gets the execute, gives away only experience. And again, Baron will not be dying, but it's another team fight that PSG Talent has won.
Yeah, Baron may not be dying, but Cloud9 are, freak, over and over. Another good initiation from PSG. Again, when the team fight does depend on who's able to start it out, who has the initiative, the team with Nocturne is always going to be happy to force that. Especially this time, since Fudge does not have teleport, you see him walking down the river on the minimap, and you just turn out the lights with Nocturne, full send, hard engage through the river, Rumble ultimate down, following up Nocturne, and Cloud9 just have to scatter. If it's used like that while they're still all spread out, there's no hope for C9 to even think about winning one of those team fights. And PSG hunting them down, picking up the extra kills. They do leave Baron up, but Baron just going to serve as another little bit of bait to draw them over once again. You just wait on your ultimate cooldowns. As soon as they come right back up, they'll be ready to fire.
All right, what's this team fight going to look like? Dragon's alive in 5 seconds. Cloud9 getting rid of the vision, so right now they own the bottom river. They might be the ones able to force in an awkward engagement. Bit of damage on the Perks. Nice shot there coming through for River. Maple waiting around in the wings, and Cloud9 say, okay, we've kind of got to get this one up. River and Maple have a good spot. Hanabi's ready to go with the ulti as well. Nocturne pop, double stun, gonna come in for Maple. Big backline dive, and that's gonna shut down Sven. The backline access was there, and it's a 4v5 team fight now. Cloud9 doing their best to get some damage back, but Hanabi is just too tanky. Perks takes an ult, but no one's an easy target. Not gonna get much. Stuns a minion. Fudge coming over the wall. This time they'll catch Kiana. The stun's gonna land. It's a 1-for-1, but Vulcan will trade back down. In the re-engage, they will knock down Perks likely as well. And the pulled back is Hanabi. Spell shields the Q though. Fudge can auto attack, can try to find some damage. Gore drinks for a bit more. They keep sidestepping every skill shot. Mechanically excellent as PSG Talent takes down yet another team fight.
It's actually just so beautiful to watch River play Rumble after we've had so many failure Rumbles throughout the tournament. He's playing his ranges correctly. He's not even relying on buying a Zhonya's or a stopwatch. He's got the full offensive build there, even building for the team with the extra grievous wounds for himself. Just really, really well played there by PSG. Cloud9 will get their third dragon, so maybe they will be able to hang their hopes on a big team fight later on to get that Mountain Soul. And with Mountain Soul shield, to the point I was talking about earlier, maybe a Mountain Soul shield is enough to allow you to live through this initial burst. Because you look at this, the initial burst is, there's nothing Sven could do. He is nailed against the wall and just 100%ed. Tries to get a rocket jump off, but just dies in the air. Really good focus from PSG. And even though then you can get a reinitiation from Cloud9, they pick off one member here and stealing Maple's ultimate. Because PSG get the initiation on the fight and they already took out Tristana, the consistent DPS for the team, it's easy for PSG to then re-engage. And you see there, River, again, playing the range well. Electro Harpoons means that you get kited as the Aatrox. Nothing much he could do there. Maple gonna try some evasive maneuvers.
Yep, looking for the big play topside, finds the first stun. Maple gonna take some decent damage, ults back, actually gets 3 stuns out of it, and that's gonna have to get away. In a 1 versus 4, walks out, doesn't even need River's help.
Definitely going to be big because look at the mini-map freak. Everybody from Cloud9 went for that play, and this is a Baroned up pushing 2 lanes PSG. They've got Nocturne bottom side. That tower is toast. 2 as well in mid. This is a big price to pay for the attempted picking off Maple, and Kiana able to slip away without even having to burn her flash. Let's see, though. Blabber now looking to try and collapse on Hanabi.
Looking to play, of course, can run pretty quickly, and if anyone's ever too far away, you can just kind of ult in and go to them and have that be your route out. Ultimately, no catch to be had. The gold difference now 5,000 in PSG Talon's lead. Obviously, the Red Bull Baron being a lot of that one. Really, really good start. Question is, in 3 minutes' time, how far apart would this gold be when the dragon spawns? With the Mountain Soul, it's going to close, I'd say maybe half to 2/3 of that gap. I think it would still be Cloud9 behind with this gold deficit plus a Mountain Soul, but it would be much closer. It would be within striking distance, and maybe Sven doesn't get one shot in the team fights. That'll be what I'm looking for here as we look to get towards top side. Mid and bot tier 2 already killed. PSG now putting their efforts towards that top lane to knock down their third turret of this push. Should be no problem. Cloud9 can't wave clear it. They can't team fight it.
Yep. They've still got another wave's worth of time with this Baron buff, too. Another 30 seconds here, but PSG looks like they're hesitating a little bit, maybe waiting to see if Cloud9 chase them into the jungle here, where they would have plenty of walls to work with.
Ooh. Vulcan actually gave vision for 1 second. He jumped out of the brush quickly, and maybe that was on purpose, maybe it wasn't. Recalls in, this brush feels safe, and unless you took a random guess, you wouldn't catch a mid-recall, so that's going to be no problem. River able to cleanly walk away as well, would have his ult for a disengage. Not going to be a problem whatsoever. 2 minutes now towards this Drake spawning. Hanabi still has the bot scuttle. It's not going to affect dragon control very much, but it's still gold and XP income. He's level 16. That's, of course, a nice one. That's max range in the ultimate. It's very short cooldown now as well. He's going to feel real comfortable.
He certainly is, especially with his ultimate ready and the advantage that they have already in this game. They can push out the side lane first and then look to collapse on Cloud9 for their big AoE combination. Kaiwing at the ready here with the Gallia ultimate just makes it so difficult to try and have your counter engage from Cloud9. They don't have really good means of disengage for themselves. It's really just Sven's ultimate to try and get them back out of it and try and live through the first wave of the teamfight onslaught that PSG have been bringing. Minute 20 seconds left on this dragon, so not much time left, Freak. It is now going to be the Hail Mary from Cloud9. All of their hopes are on this dragon fight. If they could possibly pick one person off from PSG away from the team, maybe you have enough of a timing advantage before the Nocturne ultimate Galio combination comes in to be able to get a kill and then try and get into like a Dragon Steel or something. They're going for the pick on Hanabi first.
He ults in and goes to Udyr, tries to get the disengage, what I was talking about before. You find the weakest link, you jump onto him, you get away from everybody else. That is TP burn from Perks. Fudge had already walked there. That is, of course, a meaningful cooldown. And Nocturnal should be back around the time of the Dragon spawn. I think that's going to be a pretty close timer. Of course, has his own TP. So a nice attempt, but now it means Perks has to walk down to the bottom side. As you said, Kobe, the Hail Mary to get Dragon Soul. Rumble over the top. And that's a short cooldown. It's not 30 seconds, I don't believe, but it is pretty short.
It's only barely over.
Yeah, I know. No Cloud Drakes to their name, and not a ton of extra CDR in the build, of course. Only one finished Legendary. But now, here comes the fight for this stretch of water, over the brush, over the wards, as we look for the cooldowns and look for the dragon spawning in 10 seconds.
Okay, can Cloud9 force it right now while Rumble Ultimate is still down? Yeah, it's a small window, but it is a window, so you gotta jump through it. The dragon is spawning. Nocturne Ultimate's only got another 10 seconds left on it. Rumble, maybe another 20 seconds, and it is gone. That is going to be another dragon denied here. PSG pick up Mountain Dragon number 2.
Cloud9's gain is going to be a bit more golden experience as they counter jungle on the left-hand side of the map. A blue buff is stolen, a Gromp is taken away. C9 saying, look, we're too far behind in gold income. This isn't a fight we're going to win. We've got 10 minutes. You know, we can wait. And one thing I will say is if your gold difference is 5,000 gold at 30 minutes is more meaningful than 5,000 gold at 40 minutes. So if you can somehow keep the game exactly flat and finish Infinity Edge and finish Cosmic Drive and items like this, then okay, sure, that's your way to get a closer fight when you eventually battle for Soul. It's not like PSG are gaining that much by getting the second dragon. That said, though, they're still the ones with map control. PSG can start taking over the top river, and they can start playing for Baron.
And again, I want to stress how important Mountain Soul could be as a possibility, because when you're facing a comp like this from PSG, there's a breaking point. If you can have enough durability to live through Qiyana and Rumble Ultimate, the initial wave there, even with Nocturne coming through, turning off the lights, if this Mountain Soul shield can allow for that, they then are a team with a bunch of sustained damage on the side of Cloud9 and a bunch of sustained healing, so they want to prolong it. Baron's burning down so quickly, though.
7K health. Blabber does have flash, but he's not on the screen. Down to 2,000. It's going to get burned down, and here comes the re-engage. Nocturne at the back line. Jumps away, stays safe. Zhonya's pop. Galio over the top. Rumble ulti hits 1. Perks burns the Zhonya's going to immune most of that damage. First off, 1 for 0. Hanabi a bit low. Stun's going to land, but it will not kill Hanabi. And how about the re-engage? So the front line is pretty dangerous. That's going to be big damage on Galio. It's going to be traded back 1 for 1 with Baron buff on. This could be a team fight that Cloud9 win. Maple gets a big chunk of damage. Perks has to run away. Maple still on the run now to the left-hand side. Fudge in the chase. 1 for 0, but the re-engage is going to land. Rumble kills off Tristana, and now River's stuck in the middle. Fudge cannot heal through it, and it's another team fight. 1 for PSG Talon, 3 kills to 2.
And with Baron buff freak, they can push on the base for Cloud9. Perks and Blabber running for their lives as Hanabi tries to hunt them down.
He probably wins this fight outright. Q's going to land on both of them. They're going to try for the stun for big damage. Bell shields a bit, gets rooted, but he's got the fear. He's got the ult. He is going to kill them both, and he's going to certainly try to chase down Blabber, because meanwhile, the base is going down. A stopwatch buys time, but Hanabi should still get this kill. He's running, he's trying, it's not gonna be enough. There's a second fear, there is the kill. Well done to Hanabi. Rumble for good measure, adds in the ulti, and Doggo is pushing down the base. You got a while till the respawns come in. 10 seconds on Sven. The rest of the squad can come right back in. Doggo takes on 1 turret, goes for number 2. Vulcan can only sit and wait until he's got a teammate around. Tristana spawning up right now. Double Nexus turrets are gone. Next respawn is 20 seconds for Perks. This fight is 3 versus 2 with Baron.
Such an exciting team comp here from PSG. Really well displayed coordination in so many of these fights. Turning off the lights with Nocturne, going super deep into the backline. You see, they actually didn't even get a full combo with the Qiyana Rumble initiation. Nocturne into the backline, creates a lot of space with Galio. Sven does, even being nearsided, back off from the Qiyana ultimate. And so Cloud9 actually have a chance here on the re-engage. Hanabi getting bursted down, but Kaiwing really good stopwatch does buy time for them, even though he gets chased down in the aftermath. You see the Baron empowered recall. Finishes, allows him to get off, and then Hanabi teleporting right back in. Off of that with full health means they get to chase down the rest of C9 through the river.
Yeah.
And River himself, once again, really big Rumble carry there. Perks, though,
big target selection, had a flash overpowered passive, or with the overheat stopwatch. Zhonya's Perks gonna stay alive for now. No kill to be had. Ulti's still up for the Sylas, so we'll see that back up in a second, and he can look for a target in a team fight play. But now, as the second Baron's been claimed, it's timing out at this point, but the gold lead has grown to 9,000. Cloud9 looked to find their window, but it was shut quickly as PSG rushed down the Baron with Blabber not on the right side of the map, and they're going to keep on going. Next Mountain Drake spawns in just 1 minute's time. Again, if there's a steal, it would be Cloud9 getting Mountain Soul, but it's much more likely PSG Talon getting everything. Sidestep Galio doesn't even, ooh, wow, Doggo doesn't even have to cleanse or anything, just walks away from Vulcan's ulti. Hanabi waiting from mid lane, just shoving in the minion wave. Keep in mind, no Nexus turrets. Any team fight is instantly GG. Perks has Rumble ult, you got a team fight with something here. The Baron buff is gone, so you can at least wave clear. They're going to say, okay, you know what? Clear the waves, we're chilling. PSG's going to go for third dragon, it looks like.
Yeah, do they want to take away the safety net? Because the safety net for Cloud9, as you're saying, their one thread of hope they're holding on to now is, okay, if we win this team fight, then the timing for the Mountain Soul would work out, and that could be, you know, the big turnaround moment. But PSG aren't going to take their chances there. They don't want to let Cloud9 have that opportunity, so they don't overextend initially. Hanabi himself, oh, Perks!
Yep, got him. G2 and 8 may indeed be what happens for Perks again at MSI. Of course, reigning MSI champion, sadly this time around, though, not having the same level performance from him and his team. And there we go. Next dragon is up. Not going to be a problem here as well. PSG going to grab this one. Almost no problem. Should be almost impossible to steal away. So yeah, no worries.
That Nocturne, too tanky, man. Too tanky.
Just too tanky.
Honestly, gets away though, and PSG will clean up that that possible safety net for Cloud9. So again, now is going to be fully unleashed PSG. They've bought themselves another 4.5 minutes to just go all out without the big comeback potential for Cloud9. Expect to see the initiation come through. It's level 18 now for Hanabi on this Nocturne. Almost full items. You got the corrupting potion still in his inventory. Most coaches would like you to sell that 36 minutes into the game to play some boards, but they don't need to because they control the entire map. So here we go, closing it in on the base. Na'Vi gonna just get a little chunk on the outside and go in.
Here comes the engaged backline. Axis pretty big damage. Zonya's available for several people, but it's going to be stuns on the 3 regardless. And now with the turret rumble, Maple just knocks him down with the ulti. That's going to be every single kill you want and need. PSG Talon going to end the Rumble stage on 6 wins as they dismantle Cloud9.
And in an exciting fashion at that, PSG Talon showing the power of ultimate abilities. Nocturne, Galio, Rumble, Kiana, Wombo combo, if I've ever seen one. Really nicely done by them. A lot of initiative taken by them for some of these fights through the river too. Really liked how they were also able to blow some Cloud9 cooldowns early on. You know, Maple even level 4 roaming there on the Kiana. River though, Jungle, Rumble, he was outstanding again on this